it's another great day in Denver. We are living in Denver, Colorado, and today we're going to jump into the city of Commerce City. So stick around and I'll give you all the ins and outs of what it's like to live in Commerce City, Colorado today. Okay, I'm Michelle, and Cheryl's my partner, but she's not here today, so I do the map tour. So we are living in Denver, Colorado. And if you're considering making a move to the Denver metro area or are currently living here but wanting to move within the city of Denver or the metro area of Denver, then you've come to the right place. Because we live here, we can give you the inside scoop of everything there is to know about the Denver metro area, specifically living anywhere in the Front Range of Colorado. And today we're going to be covering Commerce City. So make sure that you subscribe, tap the bell for notifications. All of our information is listed down below. And listen, while we are realtors here in the great state of Colorado, our purpose and main purpose with these videos is to give you just the specifics, give you a full overview of what each city, each town, each area is like so that you can make the decision to move to Denver, or if you're already in the process of you've already made that decision to move to Denver and you need some help with that, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our information, again, is down below, and we answer every call personally. Our intent is to inform you with these videos, and so let's get to it right now. We're going into Commerce City. Okay, so today, Commerce City. Commerce City is a suburb of Denver, and it sits pretty much due north of Denver metro and a little bit to the east. Now, Commerce City has grown exponentially over the last several years. 30, 40 years ago, Commerce City was a city that not too many people lived in. It was very industrial, very much made up of refineries and warehouses, truck stops, things of that nature. But over the last 10, 15, 20 years, we've seen Commerce City just boom as far as living goes. So one of the things that was key to that, I believe, was the relocation of the Denver Metro International Airport. So I don't know how many years ago, a couple decades ago, Denver Airport, which was at the time called Stapleton International Airport, was located more in the heart of Denver. So as it happens, it needed to grow and expand, and it was very much city locked in and had no more land to grow on. So they moved the airport out east, and a lot of natives were very upset about this because they felt like they were moving it to Kansas. I mean, it seemed like it was so far out in the middle of all this farmland that, you know, people just didn't like that. But as with anything, you add a reason, you build it, they will come. They built the airport out there, and we've seen mass expansion and growth out towards that northeast corner of the metro area because of the convenience factor of living so close to the airport, commuting, traveling, vacation. And again, there was just land available out there. So builders were able to come in and put in neighborhoods and shopping and so forth. So it's really expanded out that direction. So I think that's a big reason why Commerce City has expanded and grown and become more residential, because again, it was a very industrial warehouse type of city. As many locals know, nobody really went to Commerce City for anything unless they were going to a dog racetrack or a horse racetrack or a truck stop or one of those types of things. So you're gonna be surprised. It's got a lot of great amenities. It's changed so much, and it's really a great place to live. So let's jump into my computer. I'm gonna show you what it's like. Okay, here we are. We are on the map of the Denver metro area. So you'll see here that this very jaggedy outlined section all the way down here is Commerce City. So it's very interesting in the way that it's grown, because again, right here in the middle, let me get my little map tool out here and see if you can help show it a little better. Kind of right in this section right here was the original Commerce City. And that was that's where you find still to today the refineries and industrial section of Commerce City. But then check out this. If you look up over here, all of this area is relatively new. And that's where most of your suburban home master planned communities are going to be. So in that quadrant, this right here, this white blob is the airport. So you can see that when I mentioned that the airport might be a reason why it has grown so much over the years, is that it it's pushed out. So it was very kind of stuck here in the middle of this little tunnel right here along the interstate, which is I-76, runs all the way into I-70 and all the way up here to northeastern Colorado. But it was kind of just landlocked and stuck right here with other cities around it. So it had nowhere to grow, but kind of wiggle its way up through here and over into this section of what used to be farmland and open space. And the developers came in and started taking over and building homes. So that's where you're going to find most of the new build construction communities. One of the first ones that was built out there was called Reunion, and we'll jump into that here in a bit. But you can see it's kind of right here, and I think they were key to developing that part of the city. So, but let's go back to Commerce City and where it is in relation to a few things. We already talked about the airports right here. So that's a nice location if you travel and need to get to it. If you're working in downtown Denver, which is right over here, you can see it's pretty easy to jump on either I-76 here, head over to I-25, and you can go straight into downtown Denver, or jump on I-70 and then come around, and that takes you there. If you are not looking at the city in regards to where it is in relation to work or those types of things, and you're wanting to head up to the mountains over here, you know, this is our famous mountains, Rocky Mountain Range over here. And you're a little bit of a ways. It's probably going to be about 30 minutes to get to the foothills. We'll leave even further up here to get to skiing, which is kind of past Idaho Springs here. And from that, you're pretty much going to take I-76 down to I-70 and then wiggle your way up there. Or if there's some skiing slopes up here, you can jog your way either over on 470, which is a toll road. This is 470 right here. It is a toll road though, so it's going to cost you some money to drive that route, but then jump on this is Highway 36 and head up that direction to the mountains. So a little bit of not a straight shot, put it that way. You gotta jaunt and jig your way around, but it's definitely doable. So, and then, you know, if you're going over to the tech center, which is down here, probably not your best location, but you've got great access to get on I-70 and out and around the metro area that way. All right, so let's zoom in here to Commerce City so you can get a good feel. So again, as we were talking about what Commerce City is and how it came to be, again, as I zoom in here, you're gonna see, let's zip over here and you can kind of see a little bit, see if I can get a good shot of what that industrial part is, where there are some homes over there. I mean, they're older, they're smaller, but there are some homes over in this section of Commerce City. And you know, if that's your price point and that's the feel that you like, definitely it's a great place. And one thing I wanted to point out too is it's kind of rebounding a little bit. So Dick's Sporting Good Park, which is right here in Commerce City, it's got it has about 30 roughly soccer fields all in this complex right here. Let's see if we can zoom into it. And it is a big staple in Commerce City, and it's actually helped with the property values in this part of town because it's given a reason to go to Commerce City, and they're developing. You can see a lot around it. This is, I don't believe, Commerce City over here, nor is it down here. This is kind of in its own little poke out here, but this is where the Rapids play. So if you are a soccer MLS fan, you can definitely see there. If you have kids that play soccer, you can definitely will be spending some time here, regardless of whether you live in Littleton or Highlands Ranch or on the south end of the town. You'll be here. I've spent many weekends at this complex, but it's a phenomenal place. Like I said, they have almost 30 fields plus the stadium, and they're building up around it. So now this is an older Google Earth video of this, but now they're adding some restaurants and things like that in and around that area. So you have a lot of options when you're over in this part. And again, like I said, this area here to the east and to the west is not technically Commerce City, yet it draws, you know, it gives that draw to other things in Commerce City. Northfield, which is a big shopping area, is right here. Again, it is not Commerce City, but you're just right around the corner from it. So let's zip over here to this part of Commerce City that I was telling you about. You're going to find a lot of older homes, but the nice thing about this part of Commerce City is that you'll have mature landscapes. So, the newer buildings and so forth don't have these mature landscapes that a lot of these older parts of town have. So let's see if we can get in and get a street shot here of what this is going to look like. Yeah, there we go. So again, you can see older homes, big lots, no HOAs in any of this part of town. But there's obviously ones like right up here that have been scraped and rebuilt, others that haven't done anything to them in the years since they've been built. Again, no HOAs, so you're going to have some campers, cars on the street. There's no regulatory other than city ordinances as to what that might look like with your neighbors. So some people adore neighborhoods that don't have HOAs. Some people despise neighborhoods that don't have HOAs. Totally your call. But something like in this area is going to probably run you a house is going to run you anywhere between, depending on the condition and the size, 300,000-400,000 up to 600,000-700,000, just depending again on what they've done to make it update it, to give it the updates that it needs to warrant those prices. So there's that. And then schools are all in amongst their schools. Again, this part of town is Brighton School District, and Adams County School District. So you're going to have, again, it's important to look at each individual school as a whole. Those districts don't get the highest of rankings for our metro area, but some of the schools within those districts get phenomenal rankings. So again, it's important that you look at each school, elementary, middle, and high school, and kind of see that trajectory of where those schools are going to end up as your child goes through them, if that's important to you. But over here, you can kind of see this section right here. This is all industrial and commercial. So truck stops here along I-76. There used to be a dog racing track in here. But yeah, that's that. You're going to have older restaurants, not a lot of big box chain type of buildings in this part of Commerce City. However, if you go up to the newer section of Commerce City out here by Reunion, you're going to find that this kind of stretch right here along 104th is a main thoroughfare that gets you in and around this section of Commerce City. So let's jump into Reunion here. And Reunion was one of the first mass developed, master planned communities in Commerce City. And again, this is the neighborhood that I talked about that I think kind of set the pace and the tone for this section of Commerce City. When they first were building it, people thought, just kind of like that airport story I told you, that so far out, why would anybody live out there? And it has taken a little bit of time for the community to build up and around it. But with the housing shortages that we've had in Colorado and the cost of land and, lack of rentals, things of that nature, it's really developed and come a long way in the last 15 years or so. So let's jump into Reunion here. And you'll see on our vlog tour, we do spotlight a couple different homes that are in the Reunion neighborhood. Reunion is almost like a little town in amongst itself. It has a coffee shop, it has a pond, it's got a workout facility. You do pay an HOA or a metro district actually to live in this part of town. But there are some amenities that people swear by for this, for what you get out here, because again, it's growing and coming up, but it's going to take a while until it actually gets fully developed. Let's jump in and around here. You can see they've done a nice job. It looks kind of like the barn. Again, they're trying to incorporate their history of the neighborhood into it. Workout facility, coffee shop, you name it, it's got it. It's got a nice little pond, walking trails. You can see these walking trails all in and around. So this Reunion is a definitely desirable neighborhood in Commerce City. It has a strong reputation. It's got strong schools within it. Again, it's almost like its own little town. Yeah, let's zip over here and you can kind of get a feel for what some of the houses are like in here. Let's jump down into this little section of the neighborhood here. Okay, so you'll see here that you got nice sized lots. Again, these houses are about 25 years old. So they were still building a little bit bigger lots at that time. If you go to some of these newer neighborhoods, newer sections of this neighborhood, you're going to find smaller backyards, closer together homes, things of that nature to give you an idea. But these are great, nice sized big homes that, have a variety of families and working people and some retirees. It's got a lot of diversity in it, so keep that in mind. And it's a great little neighborhood. So let's back up here and see what else I can show you about Commerce City. You go north, so I know where I'm at here. Yeah, you can see golf course here. There's a couple golf communities in this area. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit more so you can see it. Come on. It's got some parks. They got a little tot lot. That's one of the nice things about these new neighborhoods. When the builders come in, they're oftentimes required to put in so much green space, so many activity areas. So that's one of the great things about some of these master plan communities. They really try to incorporate and keep those open space fields as much as they can. You know, you are paying an HOA fee or a metro district to have that, but it's, in my opinion, I think it's definitely great. So yeah, you can see the golf course around here. You've got just that same, they're building new builds back over here. It's growing and expanding still today. So this neighborhood has probably been in a growth stage for 20 plus years. Again, you can see though, as soon as you cross over this street right here, you're much more rural feel. This neighborhood up over here is much more spread out. Again, more golf course all along here. Definite outdoor activity availability. So lots of great things. I'm trying to get down here to, here we go, 104th. So you can see this map of Google Earth may be a little bit dated too far back for you to totally see, but they're all along here. This is commercial, and they've built commercial all along here. So you've got fast food restaurants, banks, car repair places, pretty much every fast food restaurant, couple restaurants. Again, the thing with Commerce City being spread out more is that you're going to have to travel a little bit to get to some of these places, because it does have that stretch that I showed you where it kind of started centrally and then kind of worked its way up and out. So that's one thing to keep in mind. There's not a lot of apartment complexes right in this area. Most of the people are homeowners. So that's a good thing. I mentioned in our pros and cons that, you know, if you're looking to buy some investment property, if somebody works at the airport due to proximity and they only want to rent, without Commerce City having a lot of rentals in this particular section of town, you are, you know, you might be in a good spot to make some residual money as being an investor and having a rental property in this part of town. So again, you can see right here how I-76 runs kind of straight through it, heads up here to Barr State Lake. You're real close to this. Check out our Brighton video if you want more information about Barr Lake State Park. And you can boat, swim, trails, all that good stuff. Super great place to camp right here in the city, kind of. So you're not too far from any of that. And again, you can see the runways over here for the airport. So you can see just how close you are there. Other than that, that's kind of sums it up. There are some more recreational, some commerce here along I-76. Again, most of it's not your big box. Most of it's going to be independent, but they are, as if anything, they are growing and expanding. And a lot of those big box stores see the demand with the amount of houses coming in. And so those are starting to come. One interesting little thing is Commerce City kind of wraps around this Rocky Mountain Arsenal, and it is acres upon acres of a wildlife refuge. So you can get into certain parts, you can walk through it. It actually used to be a military base, and that's changed over time. But there are parts of it that you still can't access, but there are parts that you can get into, and wildlife galore. So if you're a wildlife enthusiast, birds, photographer, something like that, they have some great areas in there for you. So that wraps up Commerce City today. I hope you found that information helpful. Again, don't forget to tap the bell, subscribe, more so that you can see when we drop new videos 3 times a week about different areas, different topics here in the Denver metro area. And we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.